Cherie Hanson here. It's been a lovely morning. It's holding about 15 degrees Celsius on my back deck, unless, of course, the gauge is delusional. And it's just not registering what's really going on. The gauge may be a conspiracy theory. Oh, yes, I can trust nothing now, right? I want to talk today about my collection of delusions. All right, I'm settling back. One of the things that I am so very aware of recently, from my attention to my teachers, from following more and more information that's coming out of quantum physics, is that no matter how you set out to live your life, we're trained to collect delusions. Now, what I mean by that is, I remember when I used to go to old folks' homes and the wife had salt and pepper collections. They're so cute. There's a cat playing the violin, and then there's a cat with an accordion, and they have salt and pepper. So I look at things in my metaphoric, philosophical, quizzical, dismantling manner. And I'm thinking more and more about what delusions I have collected. And as I look at them, I don't react to them emotionally one way or another. I don't look at the two dragon salt and pepper shakers on the window ledge and say, oh, they're horrible, I've got to throw them out. I do it in a gentle way. And one of the things that is becoming more and more clear to me is the more I study mindfulness practice, yes, the more I see where my mind is trained by my culture, by my cohorts, by the normalizer ray, to say that this is a safe thing. To give you an example, early on in our history, we found out which things were poisonous by NAFTA, the Neanderthal guy over here, going out and eating the pretty red berries and then dropping dead. Or having a certain type of snake to make a shish kebab and dropping dead from the poison. And so we began to have a catalog of behaviors. And the reason we had a catalog of behaviors was to save ourselves from dying. And what I always laugh at about that is, you're not going to avoid it. Maybe you could put it off if you want. And so we've come to look at the mass, the norm, the conglomerate, as holding a paradigm that will somehow protect us. And as I watch my own belief systems, I more and more see the vestigial vines that are wrapped around my thoughts that come from the normalizing ray of society. For instance, for me, when somebody is doing something I consider to be risk, I will balk just, no, that's too risky for me. That comes from the fact that I have normalized that I have a thought paradigm that I am somehow fragile and vulnerable and need to protect myself with actions, with choices, with decisions. When in fact, my teachers, the people who are the wise ones that I go to, I sit at the foot of their YouTubes, absorbing knowledge, say that I am creating the world I live in. So if I am creating a world which is full of risk, then I'm constantly coming up against things I don't dare to do. And this is an interesting place to be because, as Wayne Dyer says, if you are able to hold space for a positive world, for loving reactions between people, for being protected by the universe, then you don't fear anything. And I've come to start to I'm going through my drawers and getting rid of things, and throwing out socks that don't really feel good on my feet. And I'm also going through my beliefs the same way. I'm tidying up my beliefs because there are generations of people before me who were traumatized and who have stories to tell about how to stay alive and how to protect yourself that I have inherited in my cells and that I have imprinted in my mind habits. So as I make decisions, I look at the decisions and I say to myself, I guess the one I was interesting the other day was somebody said, well, how did you choose a service? And I said, well, somebody close to the house because I don't want to go too far away from the house. Now, if you really look at that, it's kind of a dumb assumption that if I'm only 5 blocks away from the house, I'm safer than if I am 10 blocks away from the house. How many things have we got like this? If I'm unfamiliar with the space and I go into the space, could there be people with long range, weapons that can get me? When am I at risk? What am I afraid of? What's stopping me? What do I believe now? And as I see these things, I come to what I call the process is like, it's like there's a stain in the sink or something, and I get out Banami and scrub at it, and eventually it's gone. So my process is, the first delusion is that it takes a long time to get rid of a delusion. There we go. Isn't that fascinating? My first delusion is that it takes a long time to scrub out the delusion stain at the bottom of my sink. But we know from quantum physics it does not take a long time. We can step into another lifeline in a moment. We can create a different reality using our reality ray gun of belief in a moment. But when you're stuck in the tar paper trap of 3D, I come to think that only through effort and repetition and some kind of valiant dedication can I achieve something. And I know intellectually, that's not true. But I still hold on to my delusions. I can invite friends over to have a look at my delusions. Look, there's a collection of them right there. And they're all silly, silly little salt and pepper shaker delusions. One of the ones that I'm noticing a lot right now is that I have to have other people outside of me agree with me, or I'll make a mistake. And that's so ass backwards. If we're waiting for other people to agree with us, and they're all on different levels, I see this a lot. Some of them are toddlers, some of them are, going to daycare and sitting in the sandbox, peeing in it, throwing sand. Other people are like kindergartners, and their concept of reality, their spiritual growth, their mindfulness practice is on a different level. So they're not going to see the same things that I do. Do I defend myself? Do I push my agenda? No. I think of when a baby won't eat, and the mother's got the smashed peas in the spoon and going, okay, open the doors and the airplane will come in, and then I'm going to force these smashed peas into your mouth. And so many of us are in that place right now. I have to see you believe what I believe. Otherwise, I can't believe myself. Wow. That's a crazy one. So if I believe that we're capable of doing things that we've never seen before, if you don't believe it, then I can't believe it. You have to vote for my belief system. You have to get on my chug, chug, chug train to go up the hill. I have to be in a crowd who have exact same worldview that I have, or I'm not going to be right. And so we're at a time right now when we're starting to learn to let go of being reassured by some random person's view of reality, to give us permission to have that reality. It doesn't have anything to do with us. Their version of reality, their paradigm, their planet has nothing to do with me. It's not a reflection on me. It's not a criticism of me. It is just where they are right now. So, really paying attention to what do I need to believe in myself? What do I need in order to have a greater vision, to become somebody who is more grounded, more optimistic, more unfailingly compassionate? What do I need for that? Not outside reassurance at all. It's not going to be there. And every time I hold up my little toddler hand and ask some adult figure to come along and hold my hand and help me across the street, that does not make me more self-trusting, more powerful, more of a person with agency. It makes me weaker. It makes me dependent. It makes me feel like I'm not enough and I need somebody else to vote for me. So that came to me today. I thought I'd just share that with you. These things keep coming to me as I peel back the layers of the cabbage. I know it should be an onion, but I find cabbages are easier. Right now, it's Christmas. And for me, Christmas is lights, choirs, cold air, a sense of deep rest, a pause, a time to really work on your roots. Make sure your roots are safe underground, that you're taking care of your grounding, your sense of yourself. That's what it is for me. And I saw a post on Facebook today that just cracked me up. Somebody put up that they were 20 years in recovery from Christmas fervor. And I was like, that's so beautiful. So we decide what Christmas is for us. What serves us? For me, beauty. For me, the lights. For me, music. And outside of that, I'm not interested in alcohol or gorging myself on foods that sabotage my body, or crowding into a room with a bunch of people so I can enjoy the next virus that's coming down the pike. Let's have a virus get together. Yay! So I want to make sure that everybody is paying attention to what's tugging on them. What is it that's tugging on me? Why? Where does that come from? Go over and look at your beautiful collection of delusions with clear eyes. They're quite cute, aren't they? Thank you so much for subscribing, for liking, for thumbs up, for comments. Share my videos with somebody else who is in a place where they're ready for a little more clarity, a little more understanding of how our concept of reality results in our reality. It's physics. It's just physics. And if you want a life coaching session to make plans for yourself, for goals in the future, get a hold of me. I have been researching, building up information and knowledge, and have been coaching people since I was 20. So what is that? 20 and 80. That's 60 years. For 60 years. So it's working out. It's working out. I can help you. I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate it.